Hello, friends and bees, and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. This week we are going to be continuing our adventures in Shadowbringers over on Odin, on our shard. We are going to be, as I put it in the title, climbing the dirt robot. It is starting with Mount Gorg and moving forwards. No more level locking. I just fucking grabbed out and got up to 80 on our shard, so not level locked anymore, finally, and it's time to push forward. As you can see in the title, there is the exclamation mark fundraiser thing. I've joined the Tiltify campaign to raise funds for the Bail project, which is something that I can do while continuing to also do the thing that I do every other day. The other thing I can do is not make sense, and as with previous streams, I definitely fully accept that I have the privilege of being able to switch off for 2.5 hours, and so what I want to do with that privilege is provide a space where everybody can chill out and we can just enjoy a good game for 2.5 hours and just relax and cleanse our brains, and you guys get to watch me probably be sad if Ardbert shows up on screen. So swap over to the GP. I recognise that is bad. In fact, I'm gonna do a thing, because you can't see a goddamn thing with that. There we go. You still can't really see anything, but the link will be showing up in Twitch, in chat every so often for people watching this live or people watching the VOD. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a link down as well. All funds going straight to the Bail project. This is, it's all done through Tiltify, so it's legit. And yeah, nothing I can say except BLMA cab. Blamma cab. Also, fair warning at the top of this stream so that it makes sense. I had a really bad night's sleep last night. I slept incredibly badly, which means today I am incredibly fuzzy. So if I wind up just staring into space, that's why. I have one can of caffeinated soda left, and I keep looking at it and thinking, oh, I want that because it'll give me energy, but if I drink it now, I will not have any left over, and I don't know if I can face carrying another 6-pack bag from the store. I think I took the bus home last time, but hey. Back, thank heaven, seems to be boosted and worth of good. Hope you managed to get a spot of rest as well. I'm quite well. Let us ask Master Chai where things stand with the Talos. Right, so while the two of you are away, I receive word that everything's in place, meaning we can proceed with awakening the Talos. Once we imbue the magic, it will stir itself and immediately carry out its designated function, namely taking Mount Gorg in its grasp. Ashard, we may be certain that Valkyrie will not look on in idleness as we beat a path to his front door. Once the plans are set in motion, there will be no turning back. So see to your preparations as meticulously as you may, and I will give the order to proceed as soon as you are ready. Alright, well, my gear is shit for level 80, but that's because I only have poetics. Let's do this. Let us begin. Also, if you couldn't tell from the awful audio from my mic, I have my fan going because it is extremely warm in my room. Bay. Stola, queen of my heart.
Word from the Exarch. All is set on his side, and we may proceed when ready.
Well, Well, we have sufficient stone for our needs. Likewise, preparations for the imbuing have been made according to thine exacting instructions.
Then you need only say the word.
Let us begin. See that everyone is in position. We shall catch Vorthri, mountain and all.
Read this out the way for you.
Here it comes!
This is, as a story feature, the dirt robot is so dumb and yet so excellent. I love it conceptually. Like, the whole of Northrop bands together to build a ginormous dirt robot. There he is. In order to grab a flying mountain. What a ridiculous, wonderful concept.
Yes, yes! You've not lost your touch, you clever old bugger! Do you see what they're doing? If its hands are damaged, it won't be able to cling to the mountain. Oh, I knew this was a terrible idea.
Chinese is by far and away the most relatable character in this entire video game.
To his defense, this was only to be expected. We must try and draw
He's
as many
so
of the crowds
little.
around as possible. It may not be enough, but we have no other choice.
Compared to Ashard, he's so small. All of my characters I realised are really tall. I've got Ashard, who's a male aura. I've got Maeve, who, as a person, is non-binary.
This thing or something is cold and cruel and heartless. Summon us in times of need, we expressly said. Yet what should we find but the final battle joined without so much as a whisper of our name?
Distracted by Titania.
Yes, yes, we may also have said that we fae folk have no interest in the struggles of men. But if our adorable sapling had come crying to us for help, we would of course have flown to his aid. Of course we would. What are we to do then?
Maeve as a character is non-binary, agender, but Maeve as a character model is male Ellison and therefore extremely tall. And then I also have Myron, who is a female row and therefore extremely tall.
We are so very, very sad. You will play with us. Cheer us up again!
I love the Fae. high mountain now. I think they're mad at me.
This I did not expect, but I will gladly accept their help.
Everyone is almost always mad at you, Ashard.
I will send word to Y'shtola and the others. Join them at the foot of Mount Gulg and be ready to make the ascent.
I've just realised I've always pronounced that Y'shtola, like E-shtola, as opposed to Y'shtola. I think it's because I instinctively pronounced it. Why did I pronounce it that way? Whatever. This is my dumb brain. I insist on calling Lise Lisi. So, the reason for that is because I have a friend called Lisi, spelled differently, L-E-I-S-E-Y. But that's always what I think of when I see that name. Yeah. Let's go talk to Y'shtola. As we walk very, very slowly through the area. Just watch someone fly by on a shark. Yikes. Am I right, lads, or am I right? God, my gear is so bad. I'm in actual physical hell. This is where I try and join and they're like, you're not good enough. I'm like, oh, and I have to go buy myself some gear. There you are, Ashard. It's time. Bathory cannot hide from us now. Shall we? 'Twill not be long with the Sinitas mark our presence. We must expect fierce resistance. Everyone is here. Good. The chalice has taken hold of the mountain. As planned, we will use its body as a bridge to reach Bathory Sanctuary. The Sin Eaters will make us work for every arm, of course. But we will couple path through their ranks and meet with their master regardless. Last one there's a rotten egg. Listen, I am taller than all of you, except, well, I'm taller than Yorionshe, but not much taller, so don't start any shit. Right. Let's enter the queue. In the meantime, we'll pop back over to Scree and buy everything but arms and feet, basically. I like my matching set, but not enough for the teleportation fees, you know? God, I'm so excited. Like, the queue time's so awful, but, one of my other olds is a, one of my other alts is a tank main, and she's gonna have a great time. Right, what do I need? Maiming gloves, maiming belt, maiming feet. Whoops. Ah. Can't believe buy it for 24,000, you get it back from so much less. Maiming shoes, that's what I need. What? What? Well, that's annoying. Scienski, yes I am. Nice guess. Hello Drovak, I hope you're doing well. Glad to hear it. You've come just in time for me to sit here and rot in a queue for 5 years while I try and work out if it's worth spending money on gear. Neck is 6-1. God, why is very annoying. Why is the stats so much worse? What is this horseshit? All of this is annoying. At least I worked it out before I bought it, but Amanda is hiding somewhere around here. You'd think, having done this area twice, I'd remember where things are, but not in this economy. Well, whatever. Here we go. Knew I'd find it eventually. Ah, even better. Come on, tank. Come on, tank. You can do it. Peacock Mount is so great. Ah, come on, tank. Don't let the queue run out. Grumpy. There we go. Don't laugh at me too hard. I'm terrible at Dragoon. I suck at melee in general, but I'm even worse at Dragoon, which is bad to have it the main for one of my old characters, but hey, there we go. Even better, I get to play melee on the last boss of this, which I'm awful at normally when I heal or DPS it on Summoner. Oh dear.
So it is you.
Turn the game audio down now.
You will not defile my new paradise.
Okay, dude, what? And I cannot emphasize this enough, ever. I love my Dragoon AoE rotation. I sit here and I hit 3 buttons and that's it. It's so nice. Honestly, compared to Summoner, every rotation is a godsend. Summoner's like, well, you're in here for 2 minutes now, enjoy. So I guess we have a baby tank because they're not pulling big. Although their name on the other hand is Can Edgy, which... whatever. I'm alright, I just get to sit here going for ages. I have no idea when to use Stardiver BT dubs. Seems like a fancier Dragonfire dive, so... Oh, and he's nearby. Okay, our healer is baby. I wonder if you could, if you timed it right, if you could do a Stardiver at the start of a Nostrand area, and then, or at start of a, not Nostrand, Blood of the Dragon, then one at the end. I do not know. Let me be very clear here, I don't know how to play Dragoon, I'm very bad at it. It's alright. This guy isn't my endgame character anyway, so as long as I'm able to get through the story, that's really all I care about. There's only one class that I'm trying to master, and that's Summoner. And I'll be honest, I'm not doing a great job of it, but I do try my hardest, and that's what matters. Please don't run away from the baby chain. Very hurtful. I don't think I could actually in terms of countdown. Unfortunately. Alas. Whoops. 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 And thrice whoops. That may have been 4 times. I was not, to be honest, paying attention. I promise I'll wake up eventually at 9 o'clock at night. Awful sleep because it's much warmer than I'm used to. You hate to see it. Actually, fun fact that nobody will care about, probably, but I'm gonna mention it anyway because this is my stream and I do what I want. I read an article today that roughly, and I am absolutely paraphrasing because I cannot remember it accurately at all, was roughly saying that the difference in weather that we've had here in the UK is like unprecedented in the sense of the going from lots of rain and sort of late snows, not heavy snow because we don't rarely get heavy snow here in the almost city, but you know, still definitely snow. Going from that to the current sort of warm weather that we've been having, which is, you know, not boiling by any means, so, you know, I know a lot of people in the States are much warmer in general than we ever are over here, but for the Midlands, it's extremely warm. It is unprecedented, so yay for that sarcasm. God, I love Dragoon's AoE rotation, so great. Makes it so easy to sit here and be lazy. My favourite thing. I don't have. Fuck me, I forgot. Whoops. Forgotten my entire rotation. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Happens all the time. I'm extremely good. Competent at this game. Know what I'm doing. Never fuck up. Etc. Oh. Got moth debuff once more. Whoops. It's fine, right? We've all got them. Looks around shiftily. I'm really bad whenever I'm streaming dungeons on this guy because I have to pay so much attention to like my actions that not again. Words. Why am I so bad at them? Once again asking me to be able to hit buttons in any sensible semblance. I'm just gonna follow the tank, that's what I'm gonna do. Sounds about right, right? Does this guy cleave? I can't remember and I don't want to know. I'm following you, tank, so keep me safe. Kinda got the warning out to the party at least now that I suck at melee so that when I die constantly in the next couple of fights they don't yell at me too much. Fuck, piss, balls and shit. least I'm not dying as much as the red mage, you know? There's always that. Oh no. Oh, I didn't realise, oh, fuck me, how baby healer was. What a... Whoops, wrong button. I want to do search info. Okay. Tank is pretty much baby, so... I sit here ankily humming and hawing to myself as I fail dramatically at doing a thing. There he is. That motherfucker, what a tool. Come back. I was in the middle of an Astrond. Hurry up and pull. I've got 2 more Astronds left. I know that's not what the face is called, but it's what I'm calling in my head. My poor Astrond. Rip. I'll think of you fondly. At this game, drop Slaying Gear Challenge 2018. They all line up nicely so I can more effectively hit them with my sword. Here we go. Beep. 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 Ah. So this is the thing I find really difficult to get used to with Dragoon. I'm really used to Monk's thing, where if you're in the middle of a rotation you can swap to another sort of rotation without any like punishment. And Dragoon's thing where you're like locked into one rotation type like you're doing your AoE rotation and that's it. I still really struggle with it when mentally I just want to swap to like, so you know you've killed everyone and it's more efficient for you to swap back to a single target. I'm like, okay, now I want to be in the middle of my dot rotation, so I just swap to that because that's what I would do on Monk. And obviously Monk and Dragoon are different classes, but my brain is just like, well, I'm on melee, so I can do this, right? Incorrect. I cannot. Sorry, the reason I just sat there is because I'm not aggroing a boss. Not today, not ever. Wrong one. Come back so I can dragon sight you. I'm not really sure what's going on in this party right now, to be honest. It's a bit... I'm just gonna ignore everything. Sorry, the reason that I cover my face, I cover party chat up with my face is so that, when shit gets toxic, it's not, like, on screen. Fuck me, I've made the wrong decision. So that if things get shitty, you guys don't have to see it. It's only me, and I can just be like, okay, I'm ignoring it now. I'm following the tank. They seem to know where they're going. This seems like the best choice. Follow tank friend. They will lead you in the correct direction. Do not follow dancer friend. They cannot. They are unable to even can right now. God. uptime. It's a song of the melee, isn't it, really? Oh, my uptime. My punches, or in this case, my stabbing. Worked it out this time. All by myself, too. I'm gonna start trying to do Star Diver first. And seeing if I can't get too off in my phase, because if I can, that'd be just lovely. Maybe I'll get some gear from this one day. Box. Finally. Nope. Oh, piss.
I am righteousness, and righteousness will prevail. Can't you do anything by yourselves?
I had to type an important message into chat, which was Dungeon Drop Maiming Gear Challenge 2020. Can't type and attack at the same time. I feel like this rotation is not like so difficult to get their hitboxes lined up in a circle to actually see if you're doing any damage. What on earth? Oh, that was Starfire Dive that gated me all that way forwards. Surprised the shit out of me. Can't these still find some of these mods really freaky. Breaking gear. You hate to see it. Incredible what we're gonna get. Gun and casting. Wonderful. Just what we all needed. Casting gear. Upstairs say thump thump. It's been a while since I've heard from upstairs. I hope they're doing well. They've not been thumping away as much as usual, so you know, makes a nice change. Seeing as normally it's 24/7, unable to be quiet or put things down quietly hours. I'm going to need to ruffle up my hot bar a little.
Very well. If you will not be discouraged.
Oops. Just totally spaced it there. There we go. Whoops, there we go. I feel like that's all I've been saying recently is whoops, there we go, whoops, there we go. That's approximately my entire emotions though, so. I'll have to look up a Dragoon level 80 guide to understand how to play it. Nice, there we go. Sit here and enjoy this cutscene while Pucky explains it. Love to hum a song completely different from the one being played in game. The reason we're waiting, by the way, is because the tank is explaining the mechanics of the dungeon. List of classes I have unlocked is very small comparatively, but that's because I've only leveled one class on this guy. I'm just looking at I'm just being a nosy bitch. That's not terrible. Idea is better. Okay. I mean, better than mine. Admittedly, not difficult. Ah, fuck. Wrong button. Press up. Yeet. Perfect. Reason I say that is because I think it's a ridiculous phrase, quite frankly, and also because boss had the thing. No, come back. Re. Ow. Trusted you, tank friend. How could you play us this way? Once again, I'm asking you not to do this thing. Back into the swing of things. I know how to play this game, I know how to play this class. I only sometimes hit my positionals, but sometimes I miss too. Because I love to be the living epitome of the joke, hit or miss. I guess they never miss her. Why did I not hit my combo? Okay, so we want to be around here. And we want to waste. Why am I so bad at dodging? I've always been bad at dodging that one. Certified problem that I have is not being able to avoid that particular attack. No, stop doing that. This fight really does hate dragoons. Away from the big chain little pucky. It's the baby chain for a reason. The reason being, of course, that it increases your DPS. Fuck me. Okay, I'm following tank friend. There we go, we made it eventually, and with actually no wipes, which is what's truly amazing. Seeing as normally with a new healer that would be Wipe City. But hey, maybe now I'll finally get some gear. Well, of course it's a sword, of course it's a fucking sword. I don't know, the casting. Oh, casting gear. You guys are casters, right? You want casting gear. I'm calming the tank because A, the deep's already left, and B, they were a bit of a bitch. Casting gear, that's the thing that you want.
The end is near, my friends. We have found Vorthrin's hiding place.
God, now I have to remember how this trial goes on normal. Jesus. It's such a whack villain, but very interesting. Very, pertinent.
Peace assumes many forms, and I do not doubt that you considered yours well worth the cost. I was even prepared to believe that the end might justify the means.
You know, peace and looking after, but only certain people are allowed.
That you might mend your ways and join hands with us. That we might strive together.
And also at the cost of complete obedience to the point of being mind-washed, brainwashed.
Reconciled with your words. Peace for all, you say? Yet when you were threatened, your first act was to sacrifice your own people in order to save yourself.
Looks at camera like him in the office.
Paradise can be rebuilt so long as you alone survive. It exists not for the people. It exists solely for your twisted pleasure.
Hear me, Vorthri. The people won't submit to your will, for we each have our own.
Also, I just love the aesthetic of this dungeon and the raid.
To entrust me with her legacy, and I mean to keep it. Everyone who stands with us has something precious, something that they cherish and would die to protect. They know their own hearts. They know what they want for this world. And by lending their strength to our cause, they have spoken. No matter how hard you may try to bend the world to your will, we will never yield.
God, Reen, you're so good. Reen's the greatest. Reen appreciation to 2K life.
To lecture me. Insolent worms.
Insolent
You will
wow.
earn your place. With my true powers awakened, I will expunge you like the filth you are. Your demise will serve as a reminder to all that I am the zenith of mankind and Shinita both, chosen to rule over creation by right of transcendence. My very existence is virtuous.
He seems disinclined to grant us an audience.
Thanks, Shola.
Find Vorthree. We will hold the Eaters here.
I love Ishtola's dress. I've said this on like every stream that she's been in. I love her dress, and I desperately wish it was available for the male body characters. Just like putting Maeve in pretty dresses, you know? Just because it suits them so well. Like, pants very rarely suit them, but pretty dresses suit them great. Okay. Let's join the nigh endless queue. This is a really pretty machinist gun that I will never use because I'm doing machinist on an alt. On my third alt, Thralt. Ooh. Got some trousers at least, so at least there's that. My gear is still kind of garbage though. Kind of guy would use these on other characters at least. Fact. Rather than sitting in the queue, let's pop that back to Yulmore. I can sit here and twiddle our thumbs and wait for the queue to pop. I'm excited that the third alt I'm gonna play, the third alt, like my third story doing our alt, Myron, she is a tank main. She will start as a paladin and then move to Gunbreaker over the course of Shadowbringers, and she I'm excited to play on her because I like the character, but also for the tank queues. Like that's the good stuff right there. Those tank queues, man. I was trying to move a notebook over to stop my pile of notebooks falling over. I was staring at it like, why isn't it moving? It's because I had a pen there that I couldn't see. Right. We're gonna leave Yulmore pretty soon after this. It's just that the piss, I just realised I did a stupid. That's what I need to do. Oh, what? What? I wasn't expecting that. Ah. Took me by surprise.
Are you so determined to die? One last chance, villains! Bow down and acknowledge your king! Your god!
God, I love this music, though. I'm going to turn this down slightly. do indeed refuse to die.
Strip you of the illusion of will.
Bro, I suffer every day. It's called being a person in this world at the moment. I do love this guy's dialogue. Suffer, 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 and know your folly. Because I'm too hot. Time to enjoy this cutscene. This is the newbie trap cutscene. I've seen it already, so I had my shocked cat moment when I first played this.
I see now. This is the passion of my ascension. Very well. I shall embrace this trial.
I love that imagery. I have such a weakness for it, you know? Just like as a person. It's the good shit right there. I also really like our frog tank. Angry frog tank. Sorry, I'm once again being really quiet because I'm just straight up having to concentrate on not dying. Who gets the baby chain? Whoever's next to me when it comes off cooldown. Again, yeah, I'm being quiet, but it's because I'm actually concentrating on doing the fight. Ow. And once again asking me not to forget the mechanics of fights. To sit here and be able to do literally nothing because I have no have no words. I mean, this is true. But what I also have is no brain. So you know, just so you guys are aware, if you somehow won already. Ah, fuck me. Oh, no. This is the bad place. Someone please LB3. There we go. Thanks. The reason that I did nothing there is because I did not want to pick up that aggro. Thirst. They're getting that one last hit off first. It hurts so bad. That's a really good fight. I was being like quiet, offering terrible commentary, because I was too busy dying, but I really do like that fight. Hello, uneven party. Coming around to DPS, cause they was all so new. 2 commendations makes me happy, even though I don't feel like I should have got them. There lieth the last of the light. Dramatic transformation. The result destinated within emerging to claim dominance, I assume. We've secured an escape route. Do what you must. Well, it looks like we missed it all yet again. With your powers, you could have done so much good. Is that Valkyrie? Sure was. I see. It's finally over then. Now night will return to all of Northrop, bringing salvation to both of our 2 worlds. Upon speaking with Reen, several cutscenes will play in sequence. I recommend you set aside sufficient time. Okay folks, let's settle in for the cutscene warning. Oh. Continue to sit like a gremlin. My PC is so warm. Shit. Because I'm too legit to quit.
I am righteousness.
I about to have a nosebleed? The eternal question. I don't think so. If I am, I'll just turn the camera off. Tough titties, dude. F. Big F. I'm sure this is great for us, right? Absolutely fine the amount of light we've just absorbed. We're doing great, aren't we? Everything will be fine.
The sky.
God, I wish I'd actually got a screenshot there. I like to imagine that Ashard's flashbacks come as like awful headaches. Almost like migraine-like.
Were it not for my decisive action, the whole city would have been overrun, razed to the ground. Yet they dare to complain about casualties? Spare me. I'll wager they were put up to it by those wretches who seek to usurp me. They're stirring up the citizenry. But if they think I will yield to the likes of them, they are gravely mistaken.
To be subjected to such deplorable treatment, such ingratitude. You have my sympathies, sir. You do so much good for this city, and you could do so much more were you not surrounded
There he is. That motherfucker. What a tool. In his Asian garb, no less.
Who are you? You're not supposed to be in here.
My apologies for the intrusion, but I come bearing a proposal. One that will ensure the longevity of your reign. But give me the word, sir, and I will bring hither a light warden. By giving its power to the babe within your lady wife's womb, we shall create a transcendent being, a king to rule over all. And as sire to the king,
I'll be quiet now.
authority will never again be in question.
Amazing. Before my Vorthri, they behave as docile pets. With this gift, my line shall be guaranteed power for perpetuity. We shall rule the whole world.
By all means, sir. United under Yulmor's banner, men will cease fighting and abandon their ambitions. Thus, they will grow fat and complacent, and in their sloth seal your supremacy.
Are you all right? Say something.
For Fend. He cannot contain the light. He's beginning to turn.
Sometimes you just have to check Twitter in the middle of stream due to stress.
It's changing back.
This is such a...
The combined power of every Light Warden is too terrible a burden for any one soul to bear.
Just on Catboy. Illegal.
What are you doing?
Making a terrible decision.
I will channel this profusion of power to the Crystal Tower and use it to travel to other worlds. As I have dreamed of doing ever since I first learned of their existence. Who would choose to remain here in this dying realm when they might go elsewhere and begin anew? Not I. And thus did I use you.
No, I don't believe you. It doesn't make sense.
You're right, Rain.
Damn you! We won't let you do with him as you please.
Do not interfere! Please, I beseech you all, let him go!
Yuri and his terrible ideas once more.
Tis all a fiction. Such vaguely defined acts of teleportation stand no chance of success. The Exarch will never live to see another world, as he knows only too well.
Then, what does he mean to do?
He means to take the light with him into the rift, where he will die. From the beginning, he intended to sacrifice himself to save our friend and Norvrend.
At journey's end, an opportunistic thief makes off with the hero's prize. A paltry way to end a chapter, I concede. Yet your tale will continue, and my role in it will scarcely be remembered.
Not if I have anything to do with it, Mr. Catboy. Catch me out here, ruining the Gravity screenshots.
Whatever should become of me, I will be happy and free, safe in the knowledge that I have played my part.
Raha. It's your friend and mine.
you for fighting for this world, for believing. Fare you well, my friend, my inspiration.
Nearly a whole year later and I still can't handle this moment.
Only those who possess the royal eye of the Anagan Imperial line are capable of controlling the Crystal Tower. Such individuals do not exist in the First. Therefore, in all likelihood, the Exarch arrived here with the tower. This much I had surmised, yet I could not discern his grand scheme.
Stressed. Distressed Will.
Trouble for the sake of a single hero. It's almost admirable in its absurdity.
Distressed Will.
Alas,
A full year later.
your grand scheme was
Still got the distressed woos.
You bastard!
You got it, Thancred.
Stay put. Your friend is still alive, but whether he remains so depends on you. What a disappointment you turned out to be.
That's what all the guys, I was to say that's what all the guys say to me. Barely know any dudes. That's what everyone says to me.
Believe that you could contain the light. But look at you now. Halfway to becoming a monster. You are unworthy of my patronage.
That's the thing that makes Ashad grumpiest. What do you intend to do? As he's like, I wanted none of this shit. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this.
I am an Asian. My heart's sole desire is to usher in the great rejoining. 100 years ago, I entrusted my comrade Logriff with the task of increasing light's sway over this world. This we sought to do by manipulating heroes.
More about that in the
When
role
that
quests.
failed to achieve the desired result, I created Vorthri. Thanks to your meddling, that too has ended in failure.
And I would have gone away with it too if it weren't for that meddling science.
By your 12, boy, have I not told you before that everything I said was the truth? You were specimens by which I might gauge man's potential as it stands. I genuinely had an interest in you, genuinely considered taking you on as allies. Provided he could contain and control the light.
Probably a good thing we can't
And
TBH.
by extension, you would be of no use to me. 'Twas as simple as that.
So, we've been found wanting. How disheartening. But even had we fulfilled your conditions, there was no guarantee that we would cooperate. What then?
Then I simply kill you all. At the very least, it would restore the world to the way it was before you went about trouncing Lightwalkers willy-nilly.
At least he's honest about it, eh?
Suffice it to say, it would be most inconvenient to have all that light taken away. And I would be lying if I were to claim his actions didn't have me worried. You still retain your form and your senses.
Don't get too close, dude.
You have all but become a sin-eater.
I'm about to poke you with my ginormous halberd.
Oh no. Your mere existence will serve to engulf the world in light. Those in your company will likewise turn into sin-eaters, and in time you
With apologies for all the screenshot noises.
Instincts and hunt innocents to feast on their sweet, sweet ether. Those few with the will left to fight may rise up against you, but before your absolute might, they will quickly know despair. There is no hope. We are finished. Mankind is finished. Ah, the irony. What FFXIV achieved through bliss.
Bad content, folks. Extremely bad content.
But I have overstayed my welcome. I shall look forward to seeing you bring the world to its knees, hero.
This is probably the thing that makes Ashad angriest about this whole situation, is that
I have naught to show for all the time and effort I invested in you.
he's here so unwillingly. You know, basically completely against his will, unable to go home for all intents and purposes.
But I may yet learn something from all the knowledge he had hoarded for his precious hero.
I wish I had the ability IRL to just float like that. Make life so much easier.
Your friends are now your foes. If you do not kill them, they will kill you.
Oh well.
When it all becomes too much to bear, seek me out at my abode in the dark depths of the Tempest. There, you may complete your descent into madness with some dignity, far from prying eyes. Till then, I bid you farewell.
A while ago, there was this meme going around of imagining like what your warrior of light would be if in their like Sunita form, and what their name would be, and I always figured Ashad's would be possibly forgiven devotion. I could never think of a word that means like a surfeit of devotion. Enjoy the cutscene.
Ah, finally.
What happened? I don't like that expression on his face.
After you collapsed, Emet's self vanished. Then Reen did what she could to stay the raging of the light within your body. Thanks to her, you're still you, but she's only delayed the inevitable. You're not going to like what you see, but you still need to see it.
I love this expansion. I really do.
It's like this all over. The whole of Norvrat is shrouded in light again. And it's because of you, and the power you absorb from the Wardens. No one knows but your friends.
When they carried you down from the mountain, they told everyone waiting below that they didn't understand why the light had returned. Now they're out there trying to allay the people's fears, while searching for a way to save you.
Got them feels, you know? What the heck?
If you're well enough to be up, you're well enough to get some fresh air. Better that than stewing in here. Go on.
Thanks, buddy. This game just makes me so sad. It does. It just gives me those wonderful, terrible honey nut feels, you know? Shit. Oh, sir, you're awake. You were injured at the foreign goal, but I was here. Yes, I was here at my station as always, but when they carried you on in a makeshift stretcher looking disturbingly bereft of vigour, and to compound my worry, the sky has, well, I'm sure you've seen, it has everyone rather concerned to say the least. Seeing you up and about is the first good news we've had in a while. Assuming you feel strong enough, would you mayhap consider a stroll around the city to reassure our anxious citizens? Bragi was one of those who helped convey you to your chambers, and he's visited several times since to inquire after your condition. Yeah, it's certainly for me, this situation is sort of always made more heartbreaking by the fact that, you know, Arshad, he wants nothing to do with this, and so he's not. I just realised I needed to edit one of my timers. He's I don't know, for me at least, there's something about that makes it sadder that he's basically been dragged to this completely unwillingly, and at no point did he really ever consent to this, and he's been sort of forced into this war because there's nothing else he can do. I've headcanon for Rashad that he cannot go home, he cannot get back to the first after the events of Shadowbringers. Like, you know, he can't return to the end of 4.0, and then after that he only does return, basically, because he's like, well, I do actually need to work out a way to get the Scions home. And so he's, you know, he wants nothing to do with any of this, and now everything's fucked up. He's fucked up, he's basically on, you know, a slow fire dive, you know, into becoming the thing he spent so long trying to defeat. There's nothing he thinks he can do about it, and to make things even worse, you know, the lights returned, it's like it was all a complete waste. Well, look who's back from the dead. Oh, it was a grim sight. Your companions looked fair ready to drop when they brought you in, so I offered a helping hand. Couldn't bear to see them struggle so. And you, my friend, I feared you had one foot in the grave. Cold and lifeless you were, like a corpse that was somehow still breathing. Then they told me some evil bastard went and snatched up our exarch away in the midst of the chaos. Wicked or white, what is this world coming to? Ah, but moaning never solved a thing, did it? Nah, it's times like these that we Crystarian folk stand tall and do what needs to be done. Tread with Yulmor is back on the table. Best make use of those resources to fortify the city against eaters, or whatever misery the fates deem to throw at us next. Speaking of misery, Chestermere was worried sick about you. A healer ring in her hands is not a sight you ever wish to see, let me tell you. I'm just hoping that will fuck about with my screen as always. Oh, sweetie, you're alive. No one's been allowed to see you. Even Spadric's two urchins were forbidden from making visits. Reen was kind enough to tell me you were throwing symptoms similar to Wheaty corruption, so I suppose there was little any of us could have done for you in any case. After your companions, they've been rushing hither and yon, seeking a cure to your condition. I worry to see their faces grow ever more haggard every time they pass through the crystarium. I shall let them know you're awake, and when they come to see you, sweetie, please do convince them to rest a bit. They won't be helping anyone if they all collapse of exhaustion. And our own Moran has been a little better, I'm afraid. He hasn't left the cabinet, too busy with his nose buried in one dusty tome or another. Ashard discovers he has friends in the crystarium. More news at 10. Yeah, going back to that, what would your wall be if you were an eater? I sort of settled on forgive and devotion for Ashard until I could find a better word that means a surfeit of devotion. And as for his, he would probably be fairly human looking, but with sort of the Hellenic imagery, and completely frozen over, like it would look like he has a sheen of ice across him. I haven't really thought too much about what he looks like, but I know the name and I know what he'd be themed around, certainly. Maeve is forgiven covetousness, and Myron is forgiven pride. Confound it, says the same thing as the last. Mayhap I should approach the problem from a different perspective. Ashard, is it truly you and not some figment of my imagination? Oh, but this is wonderful. To see my prayers have been answered. Feeling otherwise helpless, I've been scouring our shelves for the wisdom to explain this most worrisome conundrum. Why, with all the light wardens defeated, has the light returned to obscure the sky? Must have poured over 100 tomes, but no definitive conclusion could be forthcoming. So many questions I posed to the Exarch, and thus do I feel his absence all the more keenly. Now that you're awake, Kerber, I'm hopeful the search for a stolen steward might begin in earnest. Countless, meanwhile, these are Crystarian mean in preparations for battle, though against what foe we are as yet uncertain. Why not pay her a visit? I expect seeing you upright would be a much welcome relief. This version of the theme is brilliant. Ashard, alive and well, I see. Gave us all a proper fright, you know that? Not a day has gone by that I haven't heard folk worrying about what's become of you or the Exarch. Anyway, I'm glad you've recovered enough to stand. You're not planning on striking out right straight away, are you? I was hoping to have a better look at your equipment. If we'd been able to provide you with better weapons or sturdier helms, then maybe you would have won the day and the Exarch would still be here. Such were keeping busy consulting each other on new forging techniques and designs and the like. If you could still stand still a moment, I'd like to assess the gear we're trying to improve. Lord knows I need it. That's some fine work, I must admit. Wouldn't be impossible to make something better, but we need to experiment with different patterns and materials, and I'm not sure when we'd have that kind of time. Sounds like a challenge that he would enjoy. Greetings, Glynnard. Master of the Stairs is running his own errands now, is he? Well, my servers are distraught enough as is, and I didn't want to crack the whip too hard. Never mind that. I'm thinking our absent genius and his epiphanies are the perfect answer to this predicament of yours. And by genius, you mean old Grenault? He is a man of unrivaled gifts. I won't argue with you there. But what good does his talent do us if we can't bloody find him? No one's seen hide nor hair of Grenault since he wandered off some years ago. You know what he's like once he latches onto an idea. Probably cloistered himself in some forgotten cave, completely absorbed in his latest creation. Wouldn't even know where to start looking. That does make things difficult. Still, if that eccentric is someone you're destined to meet, I wager he'll show up soon enough. In my time at the bar, many's the tale I've heard told of strangely fated encounters, even if a few of them might be stretching the truth just a bit. We'll keep our noses to the grindstone for the time being, but in the off chance you do encounter Grenell, you'd be wise to take advantage of his brilliance rather than wait on our slow and steady progress. This is a talk for when you're fully recovered, of course. I'll let you get back to convalescing, eh? Before you do that, you were actually the reason I came over here in the first place. I know it's just for taking my stock into you properly well, but if you're passing near the stairs, then I've a regular who's eager to meet you. Best be getting back. Just because the world's coming apart at the seams doesn't mean we have to follow suit now, does it? Here, here. We can't forget the heart upon which the city was founded, although the Exarch might not have much of a home to return to. Definitely in my feels. For some reason it wasn't popping up there. Oh, Shard, are you alright? I think a return to your sickbed might be in order. You might consider resting a while atop the watchtower next to the rookery. Damnable sky does make for the most soothing scenery, but the Exarch often likes to stand there and feel the wind upon his face. Sounds like a plan. I don't actually know what the achievement for reaching level. Well, I've already character. It's like it's cool. Whoops. What's this? General, is it? Watch as I run without thinking to completely the wrong one while trying to here we go. It's Bolt from the Black. I sort of like I don't know. I prefer the Dragon Song. I think it just suits Shard better. Certainly better than a Bolt from the Black does. Tell you what's not restful. Certainly would be walking up all these stairs. It's time for one of the cutscenes that made me cry first time round. May not put me straight in my feels this time round, but it will almost definitely make me sad.
The people of this city have spirit, I'll give them that. They've not lost the will to fight.
I'm really sorry for breaking up the
I can imagine how torn you
cutscenes.
looking at that sky, knowing what it means to everyone, and that you're responsible.
It's all such a mess.
Aye. An all too familiar one. Here you stand alone, expecting no one else to bear the burden for you. You're in a corner, and there doesn't seem to be any obvious way out. But that doesn't mean it's over. However hopeless it seems, you haven't lost yet. I remember looking up at the sky like this before. Being caught up in a strange kind of calm.
Them feels.
It was after we realized we were responsible for the flood. When we resolved to journey to the source by taking our own lives. One last sacrifice. One last fight. One last failure. And then the Oracle appeared and, well, you know the rest. There were times in the years and decades that followed when I wondered if we might not have been better off just letting the rejoining happen. That we'd made one last mistake. But seeing that giant Talos stir to life cured me of any doubts I still had. Always we took the burden of fighting upon ourselves. That's what heroes do, isn't it?
Much to Shard's annoyance.
So we never had the chance to see anything like that. Our people coming together as one. To think that their hope still burned so bright. That they were still so eager to live, they would lift up their fellows, one on top of the other, till they reached the sky. No. We made the right decision. And I can finally feel proud of the part we played in helping this world survive.
He did. Oh, I love Ardbert. He's great. He's such a good. He's a good.
Come on then.
Shard doesn't know how to do fist bumps.
As I thought. What happened between us was no coincidence.
Wink.
My story may be finished, but the fates have gifted me a minor role in yours. I suspected as much the moment I realized you could hear me. But it's hard not to doubt yourself when you're the man who caused the flood. I was afraid to do anything more than watch for fear of making things even worse.
Me every day of my life.
But no longer. After all, the path I once walked is now yours to finish. For what it's worth, I cast my lot with yours. If you need a push, I'll be right there behind you. If you lose control, I'll do my best to stop you. So, let us be about it, hero.
Ardbert's a good kid. He really is.
Oh, I was worried you were up here all alone, brooding and fretting and wallowing in your woes. But look at you, grinning at nothing like a pollen-drunk pixie. Look at what you've done to your ether. It's a mess. And you have cracks running all through that pretty soul of yours.
Theowald's also great. Oh, this game contains so many good characters.
My poor little sapling. Whatever am I to do with you?
That you will give me the feels.
Shall I yield up my throne? You could claim it, cut ties with the mortal world, hide away in the castle. It won't fix the problem, but would it really matter? If any pesky heroes come calling with steel and magic, all of Il Meg will rise up in your defense. scepter are yours. If you want them.
He wants to go home. That's what Ashard wants more than anything. And hiding away in a castle will not.
Don't give me that look. Of course I knew before I asked that you'd never ever heed such a wicked suggestion. And besides, what would become of my precious and ephemeral flower? My dear beloved sapling, you are lost, confused, and have precious little time to gather your wits. Your kind is always so preoccupied with what lies ahead, and so we muddle your vision with fog and glamour. But such trickery is easy to see through. Stand very, very still. Think not of where you need to go, but where you are right now at this moment, at this time, in this place. Our cairn of crystal. From shadowed hood he watched you go, his ruby eyes with warmth aglow. See yourself as he saw you, and that shall be the clearest clue.
It's that anime fist clench.
You stand in his garden, dear sapling. Ask his flowers what they
Ow,
know.
ow. Sorry, I'm sitting like a gremlin and now my leg has gone to sleep. I'd love to have a body where bits didn't go numb at nearly random.
I'll be watching and waiting. Waiting and watching.
I love Shadowbringers, it's such a good game. I feel like I say this every time, but I mean it every time. I really did enjoy this expansion. You know, it's a good time. See you on your feet so soon. Surely you've not come in search of an tomorrow. Do I know the Exarch? Happy to share, but I fear there'll be no surprising revelations. As only the city could tell you, he's a man of wisdom and compassion and many untold secrets. But none can doubt his generosity. When the Crystalium was being constructed, he even allowed folk to plunder the tower for resources. He's imposed no restrictions upon us but one. No one except the Exarch is permitted to dwell within the spire. Many seasons passed, a comrade of mine was bold enough to ask the reason why. The Exarch nearly smiled and said, "'Cause one day the tower may vanish as suddenly as it arrived." Don't be making me sad. Don't be making me sad. Don't be making me sad. And just end this variant on that theme of please no sads. Ashard, it's good to see you awake and alert, my friend. What's this about? You're not writing the Exarch's memoirs, are you? I'm not sure how much I can tell you, considering we avoid asking too many questions. Unspoken rule and all that. If anyone has any fresh insights to say, it'll be Captain Lena, I'd say. She lost her parents to a Nita attack not long after she was born, and the Exarch saw to her upbringing. Outward appearances alike, those two are like grandfather and granddaughter. I imagine the news of his predicament hit it doubly hard. Not that our proud captain will never let it show. If you do decide to talk to Lena, she'll be at her usual post at the Ascensa Gate. The game has many, many good characters. And it does a really good job of making me feel sad for all of them. But especially Ardbert. I'd wager there is probably nobody else who knows exactly how we feel as Ardbert does. And I sort of always had canon that that was why Ashard Ardbert was one of the reasons that he actually takes part in the story, is because, you know, he feels a sort of kinship with him, seeing as Ashard is devoted to Helene, but was in Ishgard during the Dragonsong War. Eventually his family moved to Gridania instead, which is why he starts in Gridania, but he sort of always considers himself an Ishgardian, and yet they hate him. And I figure there's always some distrust, even if after he turns out to be like their saviour, there's a lot of people who still probably distrust him. Something else you needed? If you've come through results of my research into the persistent light, I'm afraid there's little to tell as of yet. Records pertaining to the Exarch? Well, I need new documentation to relate what little I know of his history. That's what interests you. Less than a decade had passed since the coming of the Flood, when the Crystal Tower first flashed into existence. Its summoner, the Exarch himself, became known to the refugees in Lakeland soon thereafter. He welcomed all who sought out the spire, be they locals who'd lost their homes or Verbiterites fleeing the ruined kingdom, and together did they found the city which would become the Crystarium. Some thought to call him king, for he refused to share his name, but the summoner did not deem himself worthy of royal address. Thus did the people consider his scintillating skin, so alike to the tower he had summoned, bestowed upon him the title of Crystal Exarch. As for his true name, well, it would seem that's a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Not to me, though. I know his true name. Because I ran CT on this guy despite having absolutely no memory of it. What are we after? Ascensa Gate. Wrong one. Do a barrel roll. Ashard, I was not told you'd awaken. A welcome surprise. Now, if only the Exarch was returned to us. He was taken by this rival of yours, was he not? The companions mentioned they had no idea of where to find him. So I bristled when they asked for patience. Did not understand the hesitation until I saw that you had fallen. Only then did I realise I had no business rushing ahead. Even so, the delay has been no less agonising. The moments before he left to join the enclosure, the Exarch entrusted me with a key. It opens the door in the ocular, a chamber known only as the umbilicus. The room is the heart of the tower, into which only the Exarch himself is permitted to enter. He bid me allow none to the tower once he departed. Only event that an army of Eaters descended upon the tower was I to access the umbilicus and awaken the defensive bower. Never before had he left me with such instructions, but the battle with Valkyrie loomed near, and at the time I accepted the key without much thought. Since then, however, that moment is all that occupies my mind. When I call the look upon his face, he knew that some terrible fate awaited him. Tell me, Ashard, I need to know what he feared. What battle you and your companions are truly fighting? Well, you see, there's these multiple worlds, and there are these guys who want to destroy each world in order to bring back the rejoining, which is when all the worlds combine into one, everyone dies, and then it restores their lands back to life. You've come to me with a question of your own, have you not? I see I'm not the only one who burns for answers. Time has come to open the tower's heart. Though you do not face an invasion of Eaters, I suspect that you will be in far more danger if you do not gain the knowledge you seek. At some point I need to do the role quests. I'm level 80 now, so I might do those to start off, like, next stream. Come, meet me in the ocular and I will unlock the door within. There we go. Trust the ex-Afghan should not be voicing his doubts when he's not here to respond to them personally, is what the dialogue that I didn't read out loud because I was talking said. Gotta go fast. I've really terrible commentary to this. I'm genuinely just distracted by how much I like the story. Captain said to expect you. Even though this is the second time around playing, so it's not like it's a surprise to me anymore, but I still really enjoy it.
I have unlocked the door to the umbilicus. You are free to enter.
Thanks.
Once you have what you require, I'll see it sealed once more. Until then, I will remain without.
It's a funky little library. With an orb. You love the orb. Pet the orb. Stare deep inside the orb.
A moment to collect my thoughts, I prithee. Thy true name is Grahatir, then?
He's the boy.
By thy claims, thou too art a native of the Source, though from an age beyond our own, when the 8th umbral calamity hath visited devastation upon our star. Thou hast, by subtle means, reached across the boundaries of time and space to unsow the seeds of catastrophe, ere its creeping vines drag our champion unto an early grave.
In essence, yes. A difficult story to swallow, I am sure.
You should be used to it, Yoni Andre, all the stories you tell.
Doubt not the veracity of thy words, not the account of thy coming, nor that of the fated calamity. Yet my mind straineth still to apprehend the enormity of this tale. Wouldst thou favor me with a gradual unfolding of its chapters?
Certainly.
So in terms of the visions...
I should start with those great minds who survived the calamity. Sid Garland being perhaps the greatest...
Ashard's come as, like, piercing headaches.
The unending tides of war, he and his fellows pursued all manner of possible solutions. One of these was rooted in a theory which unified several fundamental principles discovered over the course of the Warrior of Light's adventures. It proposed a method by which one could enter the River of Time, traverse the rift, and leap between worlds. Perfecting that idea, however, was a work which consumed their lifetimes. and thus was it left to future generations to decide whether theory would be put into practice. But all the while, the world continued to burn. Hope was a feeble outpost, beset on all sides by thievery and misery and murder.
So like the world we live in at the moment.
Despair. There is no hope. We are finished. Mankind is finished. Then others raised their voices in answer. Though we be beyond salvation, those who came before may yet be saved. We will forge a crossroads and pave the way for a different future. By the wisdom of our forebears, we will prevent this calamity from ever having come to pass. The fighting went on unabated, but some few took up Sid's research and labored to realize those impossible ideas. After 2 centuries of labor, their descendants finally succeeded in awakening the Crystal Tower, an integral part of the process.
I always forgot how long it had been, that it was 200 years.
Roused its caretaker, me. By this stage, scholars had largely established the phenomena underpinning the rejoining, and identified the first as the shard which precipitated the 8th umbral calamity. This grand structure was already capable of storing the energies required to attempt the translocation. All that remained was to augment some few of its functions based upon the theoretical models of Sid and his compeers.
And by means of such technologies didst thou effect thine arrival in the first, to an age before this star had joined with the source.
Some while before, as it turned out. 'Tis all but impossible to predict how time will flow between one world and the next, and we missed our mark by almost an entire century. But this only worked in our favor.
Well, yeah,
The
that's...
Sleepers could not be defeated without the blessing of light.
That
And
would be.
summoning the only man who might stand a chance against them would require decades of preparation.
An undertaking of scarce credible endurance. That thou hast kept thy plan from falling into disarray these many years bordereth on the miraculous.
It sure bordereth do.
Yet howsoever history be rewritten, thy present self was shaped by events which followed the calamity. Should said catastrophe be averted, the very skein of thine existence will unravel. Surely thou hast foreseen this.
I am aware of the consequences. 'Tis for that very reason Sid and his colleagues bequeathed their legacy as an offering, and not an edict.
How?
To give all of
Random
oneself
stunning
for the
pains, why?
happiness of others, and with no promise of reward. 'Tis a hard thing to ask. Harder still for those condemned to survive in a world which pitted brother against brother. Indeed, you are right to call the execution of this plan miraculous, though the force which held it together was nothing so inexplicable. It was him. The warrior of light has been our unbroken thread. Where others would stumble and fall, he would rise above.
Seems highly unlike our shard, but...
Run, he would carry on. The warrior of light's tale is one of unyielding bravery. To tell it was to feel courage. To hear it was to feel hope. It was a breath of inspiration in an age of suffering.
I think a lot of why he interacts with the story is Heidelin's sort of...
In the history of a fallen nation was our hero.
Not quite that she forces him, but...
Greatest ally. In the time-worn pages of a no stories with a flame which warmed them through the coldest of nights.
Of course, it's a myth as well, or a legend,
So
so.
it should come as little surprise that the plan found no shortage of volunteers, concerning as it did the Warrior of Light himself. It was their chance to add their own verse to the hero's saga. He was the lodestar that brought them all together to send their final message back through time and space to him.
Meanwhile, Youngshe is like, you made a bad choice, dude.
The light of your legacy was our torch in the darkness. Burn bright again and live.
Yeah, I always think he has these like compulsions that he cannot explain, which come from Heidelin, but maybe at one point Heidelin gives up and is straight up like, no, you're doing this. You are my warrior and you will.
Wherefore sharest thou this burden with me and no other? What wouldst thou have me say?
That you will be my accomplice? 'Twas you yourself who convinced me of your suitability when you spoke of how you learned of the flood and of your part in arranging Lymphilia's journey to the First. Your actions showed uncommon resolve. 'Twas clear you were committed to the cause of saving this world. I knew I could trust you to choose the right path forward.
Pretty heavy thing to put on a guy.
What price?
When all is said and done, and the last of the Light Wardens lies slain, I will absorb their corrupted ether, and then I will die. Knowing what I know of your companions, not to mention your champion, they will try to stop me. But in saving one, they would save none. Therefore, I implore you to aid me in concealing my identity and ensuring this tale ends as it must. To this end, I would have you take what I have told you of the calamity and make of it a portent, a prophetic vision you beheld.
This is definitely something really heavy to put on a guy.
Is this truly thy wish?
History remembered the Warrior of Light, as I knew it would, and I will suffer no other to rescue the champion whose star has charted my course. I will see this tale to a happy end, my friend. There has been enough tragedy.
Honey nut fields. Oh, those fields, those fieldy fields.
Careful now. If you lose control again, the light could claim you for good. Although it's probably only a matter of time before you succumb to the change in
Thanks, Albert. So positive.
What do you mean to do?
I mean to have a few words with both Emmett and the Exarch.
We should be on our way. Diacian mentioned the Tempest, did he not? That's the stormy seas around Calusia to you. His lair must be down there somewhere, hidden beneath the waves.
Time to go underwater again, boys! I really do feel bad for Youngshe having to shoulder that burden. Do you find the answers you sought? If there's nothing more you need, I'll go and lock the door. I have some questions about the Tempest. That's the name given to the seas by which Calusio is bound. If you make a request to the Tamers, they'll provide you with the Mara to fly you over the waters, but... Do you mean to leave right this moment? Alone? I'm not sure that... Nay, I will not seek to stop you. Go with the blessings of the Shadow, and I shall await your safe return. I like this bit. We're all filled up, fired up with inspiration. We're like, time to bounce! Let's get out of here. Crown of Mara? Just a moment, I shall saddle out swiftest beast to fly to the island. Open water? To the depths of the Tempest? Our Amara can swim, yes, but to reach the ocean floor. Poor kid.
Ah, we have found thee.
Every so often I get this intense stabbing pain
Word reached
in
us
my
of thy
sides,
thus
and
do we gather with all haste.
I always figure that's what the light feels like.
By thy looks I gather thou hast gleaned that which I came to tell thee.
Oriange has shared everything with us. The Exarch's true identity and purpose.
Thank goodness I don't have to try and explain what I can barely remember.
I offer no excuses. When I agreed to aid the Exarch with his plans, 'twas in full acceptance of the condemnation I would face when my duplicity was laid bare.
Find it kinda...
Rancor, but resolve that I sense in thee. Thou art
Oriange has now been typecast into the accomplice role due to what he did.
Thou canst forgive my deception, or, failing that, set aside thy displeasure for a time. I do beg leave to follow thee. What strength and wisdom I possess are thine to command.
No more lies.
Pray believe me when I say that I took no pleasure in deceiving thee. Indeed, I curse the circumstances which compelled me to do so. But no further secrets lie between us, I swear it.
Until later, when you'll withhold stuff from us again during the Enoch.
I'm sorry, but I don't think this is a good idea. Leaving the Crystarium, I mean, with or without Oriange. What I did for you won't last forever. There's no telling when the light will break free again. Please, you must stay here, at least for a little while longer. We will find a way to cure this, I promise you.
How can you make promises? We don't even know where to start.
Alize, please. You know Reen was only trying to help.
Of course I know! I know only too well! But making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. It's a lie. Plain and simple. We've all searched high and low for an answer, and every one of us came back empty-handed.
I say.
I am not about to stand in his way now. Not after failing him in his hour of need. No! The least we can do is...
We will go with you as well. There is naught to be gained by standing still.
Indeed, we have exhausted every other avenue. Lead, and we shall follow. If there is any hope to be found.
Poor Rena's like trying to see around Yoriyoshi's arm. She's so small.
Are we all in agreement then?
Is there aught we can do to help?
Though we may not know the whole story, we do know you're in for a fight.
Ashar has friends, shocked cat.
And while the Exarch's away, it falls to the rest of us to see the Warrior of Darkness is given a proper send-off.
You told them?
No. Well, not in so many words.
Good old Lena.
Aye, we didn't need it spelled out for us. When the night sky appeared over whichever place you went to, it was harder not to put two and two together.
From the moment I heard that you and the Exarch shared the homeland, I had my suspicions.
We tried so hard.
Had he been waiting for a certain someone to arrive, and I knew at once that it must be you.
Exactly. When he went up to meet you, it was clear it was no ordinary visitor.
To us.
That spring in his step spoke volumes. I could feel his excitement.
Sitting like a gremlin, and then hurting myself and being surprised. Pokemon face.
We do not fully understand where you or the Exarch hail from, or why you've all done so much to protect us.
Because the Exarch has a soul, and we have no choice.
We're grateful nonetheless. So, if there is anything at all we might do to aid your journey, you need only name it. What would you have of us?
You might have invited them to join us, where there are not so many. But come, they are waiting. What is your will, O warrior of darkness?
Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Incapable of positivity, that's your boy and mine. Please load in, friends. Just so you know, I will not look kindly on any further attempts to leave us behind. We'll do this together. Once said I wanted to fight for Stinian, that I wanted to save him, not let him be sacrificed for a cause, and now I say the same to you. There's nothing I can do to cleanse you of the light's corruption, but I do everything in my power to keep it in check. If the Warden's ether overwhelms you again, you will become Sin Eater, so please save your strength for when it really matters. The volunteers who journeyed to Clusia have all been safely returned to their homes. They've also assured us they will do their best to hold the Sin Eaters at bay in our absence. God knows you spent enough time charging into danger on our behalf. It's only fair that we return the favour. That is plan to Commander and Awara for their journey to the open sea. I fear the following dive down into Emixel's underwater abode would drain even thy legendary stamina. Thus, during their convalescence, we consider the most efficacious method for reaching the depths of the Tempest, and I believe we have arrived at an elegant solution. Yet, ere we discuss the step, I suggest thou dost conclude such pressing business as remains to thee in the Crystaium. Once the sea closeth above our heads, we are unlikely to surface again until our grand deed is done. And with that, we are indeed going to end things off here. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. It is very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming a game. What game am I playing tomorrow? It's a game called Alone With You, which is set in space, and that's pretty much all I know about it. For Pride Month, every Wednesday I'm going to be streaming a different queer indie game and showing it off, and tomorrow's will be Alone With You, so at 8 PM GMT, please come along for that. Then on Thursday I will be streaming Higurashi When They Cry, Himatsubushi, where we'll continue to investigate the missing politician's grandson. Saturday will be Dishonored 2, where we're going to go take down a Duke. Then Sunday will be Destiny 2, where we'll be continuing our adventures in Shadowkeep. And then finally, next Tuesday will be more Final Fantasy XIV, where it's time to go down where it's better, down where it's wetter, under the sea. But for now, take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do look after yourselves. If you want to donate to my fundraiser for the Bale project, the link is, I'm about to put it in chat, it's also tiltify.com/@mochistreams/mochi-4-BLM. But I have just put the link in chat, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be down in the description. So take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do look after yourselves, be excellent to each other, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.